Hello, everyone. I can get this right. Welcome to my craft room. My name's Julianne Richards. I'm introduction to my video since I'm no longer a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I've run a little competition to find out which one, how people think I should do it. And it's going to take a while. There's about 3 or 4 that I really think that I could do, but I'm not really sure. We'll have to see how we go. I'm just going to check my video to make sure that my volume is right, which it looks like, and Kay is on here with me already. Hi, Kay, and yeah, Kay, and yeah, apologies. I know I should have been here a couple of times over the last few days. I should have been doing my live on Monday and my Come Craft with me on Monday, which I cancelled both of them. I do apologise. Those of you who have elderly people in your lives can realise that sometimes it just gets a wee bit overwhelming, and the last few days I got myself to the point where I couldn't do anything, not even the stuff that I really enjoy, which is being here with you. So I basically just had to cancel everything and crawl up in a pile somewhere under the bed and recuperate for a couple of days. Mum had been particularly on good, I won't say good form over the weekend, the Easter weekend. So it was a little bit too much. But anyway, I'm back. I had a few days of licking my wounds and taking pity of myself, and I'm back, and hopefully will be a lot more positive as time goes on. Anyway, so this morning I've got into the craft room. I've got a few things done. You'll notice if you're in Facebook, we actually had actually popped up the first of the card tag videos. So that's a really fun game that we play in group. If you live in Australia and you want to join my Facebook group, yeah, it's we really do have a lot of fun with that card tag, which is it's a little bit like a Chinese whisper. We start with one card and then everyone looks at the next card, and it changes as time goes by. So it's a really fun little game if you'd like to join us and pop over and have a look at that, the results of that in our group. It's only group 1 at the moment. We had so many lovely ladies taking part that we actually put it into 2 groups, and the second group's not quite finished. So anyway, so yeah, that's really fun. I've got the first group of that put up this morning, and this card sorted. And I think I even sent out some class instructions as well this morning. So check your inbox if you did my recent class. The instructions should be on your messengers there as well. So, yep, back on deck, feeling a little bit more positive, and we'll get there. We'll get there in the end. Anyway, I've just noticed that the light there is not working, so just bear with me while other people join, and I will turn that light on. Bear with me. Goodness knows what that. I've got weird stuff. Oh no, wait a minute. Apologies there. I think I unplugged my microphone. Apologies. Connected. So hopefully the mic is back. I'll just check before we start crafting. There's no point me. Connected. So hopefully it sounds like the sound is back. The mic is back. That sounds back. That was a bit weird. I'm getting confused with all the cords. Good news on the children living with me front. They're still here, but they did sell their house, thankfully, over the Easter, just before Easter, but they've got contracts signed now that Easter's over. And so they're waiting for the deposit, and this one doesn't have all the criteria and clauses and things that other sales have had. So we've, fingers crossed, we think this sale is actually going to go through. So hopefully I'm looking at the last straight of having a house full of kids and animals. But anyway, we'll see how we go. Still, they've got 30-day settlements and things to deal with. So, and they haven't even started looking for a new one. So fun and games will start, of course, I know, once they start looking for a new house. Just going to move my mic a wee bit. I've still got everything set up like Benjamin's in the house. So anyway, which he is. Anyway, good. So let's make a card. That's enough of about me. Let's make a card. So this is, I found this one online. It was called a pop-up easel card. As you can see, we've got the easel bit happening here. And the pop-up nature of it is this bit that comes out at the front here. You'd probably call it, I could call it a false middle step card too. I think it's very similar, except the fact that this middle pop-up part is quite narrow. Now, this is the first one I made following the instructions exactly as I found them on the web. And to be honest, I'm not overly, sorry, I'm just moving this. Benjamin's got stuff everywhere. I don't know what I've done there, but anyway, my mic is in a funny spot. I'll move it slightly. Okay, there we are. Yeah, so this is, it's not even right there. Oh, Benjamin, what have you done to me? Anyway, breathe, Julianne, not much longer now. So this one, yeah, the middle bit here is quite narrow. So to me, it felt like it needed a lot of, a lot of focal stuff happening in the middle. And I think I probably went a little bit crazy with the poinsettias. In fact, I know I did. So, yeah, it's not something I want to repeat. And it used all the not poinsettias, the beautiful, what are they called? Aussie flowers. I think they're Australian and South African. Anyway, proteas. I think I used a whole lot of proteas from a whole sheet of die cuts. So that was a bit of a waste, but you get the idea. So it's quite narrow here. I think it was only 1.25 inches. So I thought I would change the original design, as I often do, and increase the width of that second piece so that it became part of the design itself and not just something designed to hold your decorations. So this is my second attempt. I've broadened this middle piece to a good 2 inches wide and added the layers of designer series paper and the beautiful orchids. And it's such a liberating thing, actually being able to use a whole lot of retired stuff that I was not able to use before. As I think I've mentioned, the Orchid Builder bundle was a very old Stampin' Up one, and I absolutely love it. And I think those orchids aren't too bad, actually. Yeah, I tried to sort of give them a bit of texture by popping them through a wood grain embossing folder, but I think that worked quite well. So there we are. So that's the one I'm going to try and remake this time, but with a different flower. This is Happy Anniversary, and I'm going to use this one for my swap. We've got a group swap happening at the moment. Now, I've got the white panel on the back because I like the way it covers the back of this pop-out part. But if you wanted to put a longer message, you could keep writing on into the middle as well. So, yeah, really nice card, that one. So, yeah, happy with that. So let's do another one. And I'm just checking to see if anyone's come on and I've missed. We've got Margie and Krista and Libby and Glenda. Hey, guys, thanks for joining me. Apologies, it's spur of the moment and impromptu, but obviously if you're watching in the replay, you've picked it up afterwards as well and on YouTube also. So welcome. Okay, so I've popped the measurements in both YouTube and Facebook. So if you look at the description of the video, wherever you happen to be watching, you will see that the instructions are there. I think we do have some people on YouTube. Yes, which seems like we do. This is the card base, or the main part of the card base. It's 11 inches long, and I've made it 4¼ inches wide. Scored it at 1, 2, and 6.5, and that's what gives it that sort of little bumpy sort of heartbeat type thing. Then the second part of the card base, and this is the one that I've extended and made wider, is 2 inches by 11, and it's scored at 5.5. So there we are. Now, you could actually make that a wee bit shorter, and I might trim it down a bit because I don't want it to show underneath the paper at the bottom there. I want a nice clean thing there. So I might trim that off when it comes to the end, but it will only be by less than 1/4 inch, so we won't worry too much about that in the instructions. And it's really just me wanting to make it a bit tidier. So I'll just give everything a bit of a burnish. Okay, and it's sort of important with this one because it's going to sit up. It's going to sit up on the tightness of those folds. If those folds are sort of a bit floppy, it won't sort of sit up nicely. It'll sort of try and want to sag. But so keep your your folds nice and sharp with this one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remind myself first of all the best order to do things. I'm going to layer up with the designers or the cardstock first. Now I can't even tell you where I got this patterned paper from. It was a long time ago, and it's been sitting in the craft room for a long time. I think I might have got it from Craft Online or something. It's just a sort of a well, not general, but it's pretty. It's got lots of daisies and things in it, and I think it's a Poppy Crafts one. I think that's what it is. But one of those things that you have sitting around forever and ever and you never quite get to use. That's what this one is. Anyway, you can do whatever you want with this particular one. It's a funny paper, actually. It's actually the same front and back. So rather than having one pattern on the front and one pattern on the front, it's got the same pattern, but the flowers, because I've fussy cut all these daisies from it, the flowers are actually mirror images of each other, which I think is really handy. You know how sometimes you want, you like a flower, but you want arching left rather than arching right. Well, this paper, it's the same flower on both sides, so it's a mirror image, but you can put it that way if you wanted it going that way. We could put it that way if you want it that way. So, yeah, I don't know that I'll ever find any more of the paper, but it's really, really good that way. So see this one, sort of same on that side and the mirror image on the other. Okay, so anyway, it's not much point me telling you if I can't actually remember where I got it or where I'm ever going to see it again. So anyway, it sort of threw me then because I thought I was putting ink on glue on the wrong side. So in the instructions, you'll notice I've got a thing called contrast colour, and it just, I don't want to confuse you, but just in this particular case with this particular card, the contrast colour is white. Okay, so, but it wouldn't have to be, and I actually have listed the white base separately. So it doesn't, they are the same for this particular card, but this is my contrast colour, white. In this one, I think it was Fresh Freesia and Old Olive, so, and then the white on the back. And this one, I think, was Bubble Bath and Old Olive as well. So, yeah, your contrast colour is the one that you're making the border for your paper with. It just so happens with the one I'm doing with you, it's white, but it doesn't have to be. So this one goes onto that front-facing piece there. And I'm putting this in first because then I can pop the outside bit all around it. You wouldn't have to do it that way if you're happy to bring that in and under this piece once you've got it in. I am going to add this one now because I want to cover the messy join with the little front piece of cards, designer series paper. So anyway, here we go. So I'm going to add that. So I'm going to pop this on the front. So just a little bit of glue at the bottom. Okay. And I'm going to add that to the front. As I say, you can bring that right down to be in line with the bottom of the card. I don't want it to show underneath my cardstock, so I'm just going to take it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be much, just like 1/4 of an inch or something like that. So just take it up a wee bit there. I'll bring it closer so you can see. I've just taken it up a little bit there, okay? Just so when I add this strip, it's not going to show underneath it. So just that there. Now, that's not quite straight. So while we're doing this, I might just make sure it's straight and sort of central, because then what we're going to do is add some glue to the back and glue it down here. Okay. There we are, and that's the pop-up part of our card there. See. Okay. Now we can put the rest of our paper on. Now I have, what's best to do first? We'll do this one first. So this is the 2 little narrow pieces from the description, from the measurements. And they're going to sit at the front on the first little step. Now I am very conscious that the ladies who are all ready to do Come Craft with me on Monday night, on Monday afternoon, also missed out. And I will get at least a video done of that card if you just be a little bit patient with me. putting myself into hibernation for a couple of days, put me behind in many things, so I'm just catching up. But I feel a lot better about what I'm doing now, so it shouldn't take me very long. So that one, as you can see, that's covered that little bottom bit there, so you can't see it, and you get a nice clean line there. Okay. And then I'm going to get the white layer, which is our sort of personal message layer, and pop it on the back. Now, if you don't worry too much about that messiness, well, I'm going to call it messiness, but that's quite judgmental. You could just line them up so that they line that up so it lines at the bottom. There's no great trauma there. Or if you're going to use a sentiment that's going to come all the way down and cover it anyway, then you can just bring it all the way down. It doesn't really matter too much. It is actually a bit easier to make it straight if it's lined up at the bottom. Okay, so there. So that's our little piece on the back, and that's covered that whole strip there as well. Okay, so there we are. We're headed in the right direction. Now I have another piece of my contrast colour. As I mentioned, at this time it happens to be white. I'm going to pop that in there. Now, does it matter that I have... I've cut that quite short, haven't I? So it's either going to be too long. I think it's because I took this up a little bit. I might have to recut that because I want it to be all the way down there and all the way up there. Just bear with me. I'm going to recut that white. If I can. What have I got here? There, that'll do. I'm also going to recut the paper. So I'm just going to measure it. That's because I put it up a wee way. I've actually made that longer, that little bit there. So I'm just going to remeasure it and recut it. Just thinking on my feet as we go, eh? So I need it now to be more like 4 3/8. And there, and come to there, about there, no, 4 1/2. Bear with me. Apologies for that. You sometimes have to think on your feet, don't you? So it's 2, 1 3/4, 1 5/8. I'm going to make the paper a little bit longer as well. Where are we? Five eighths, like 1, 2. Oh, I made that too skinny. Yes, I have. Apologies. You should never try and work out your numbers in your head. So it was 2 inches wide, then the white should be 1 3/4. Or the contrast colour is 1 3/4. That's better. And then it was 4 1/2. So my paper has to be 4 1/2, 4 1/2, 4 3/8. This is the, yep, 5 3/4, that one. Okay, apologies there. As I say, because I've moved that up, I had to make this little piece a little bit longer. And sadly, you can't make paper longer. You have to recut it. So anyway, there you are. I might pop in the description, that you might need to check that measurement if you move that layer, that pop-up bit up a bit. There we are. Oh, we've got Vicky on. Hello, Vicky. Okay, so there we are. So this one's going to go on the front. There, that's better. Okay. And now, as I say, I've got these beautiful sunflowers that I have cut from the designer series paper, or the patterned paper. It's not designer series paper because it's not stamping up. And I've just fussy cut 4 of them, and I thought I would just have them working their way up our little central piece. Maybe I don't need the whole 4. Let's see how we go. I might just need 3. Yeah, I think just 3. Otherwise, it's going to be way too tall. Put that that little guy there like that. Oh, I wonder if this one will go. No, way too tall if I use all three. So I'm just going to, all four, I'm just going to use the three. Just like that up the centre there. And so I'm going to glue those in place. I don't think there's any room for dimensionals in that. So we'll just glue them. Position them so that they are not too short and not too long. So it can't go too much further than the top because this is a really tall card as it is. Make sure you just put glue on the piece that is on that little central sort of pillar. Don't go too far to the left or right because you'll end up gluing your card up together, which you probably don't want to do. There we are. I wonder if I could get this little guy in down here. If I chipped off some of his leaves, excess leaves, he might look nice in that gap there. So I might, yes, do that. I'll just get my scissors. I might just chip off that leaf there that's sort of overhanging quite a lot. And just pop this little one in there. Yep, that works. Just in there. Okay. There's our cute little sunflowers, and I have a sentiment here somewhere. I know I do. I think I do. I hope I do. I used to do. Let me sit down here. There we go. Congratulations. So this is a congratulations one, another one that I'm going to use on for my upcoming swap. So I said I'd do two, so we've got two done now. And I'll just pop this congratulations up on some dimensionals. I don't know what this sort of theme you could be congratulating someone on. Buying a house, selling a house, anything like that. Getting a promotion at work, all that sort of thing. But because I need a congratulations card for swap, it's going to be a congratulations card. There you go. Okay, so there we are. That is our, what do we call it? Pop-up easel card on the back there with the sunflowers. Hope you like that one. As I say, the only thing I had to do from the measurements in the instructions, because I made that a little bit taller, I needed to increase the size of that. If I'd actually chopped a little bit off the bottom of that rather than pushing it up, I could have used the measurements from the instructions, but I just had to think on my feet and change it a bit once I'd made a boo-boo there. But anyway, managed to retrieve it pretty nicely. And it actually is quite a nice little design, because once you have it open, you see the designer series paper at the back, but you actually see the flowers sort of, they stick forward, and that's why it's called a pop-up, because it does pop up at you quite nicely. Now, if you find that you've made it a little bit top heavy and the thing doesn't want to sit up, I'm lucky in this case. It's sitting up nicely so it doesn't flop down and all the scores are nice and tight. You find that yours is a little bit heavy and it flops down. I found that with my original as well, and I just made myself a little bracket. Okay, so it's just a little fold bracket. Just did like a W piece of cardstock there. So just a sort of, I think it was 2 inches long, and then I scored a little bit, and then in the middle just turned it into a little sort of something to stop it from flopping forward, because strangely enough all the flowers that I used there made it a wee bit heavy. But anyway, so there you are. That's my card for today. That was supposed to be Monday. That was then supposed to be Tuesday. So at least I got here on my Wednesday, so that's fine. That's our pop-out easel card. Instructions, as I said, or measurements that are in the instructions both on YouTube and Facebook. If you'd like to check those out, love to see if you make one. Would love to see what you come up with. I'm sure you'll come up with wonderful designs based on that. As I say, the ladies who missed out on, oh, there's a spare leaf. I could put that leaf up there. Yeah, so the ladies that missed out on Come Craft with me on Monday, don't worry, I will pop something up as well so you can make your cards if you had something prepared and ready to go. So we'll do that. I'm not sure that we'll have a revisit of the actual session, but I'll definitely pop a video or something up so you can at least make the cards if you had prepared them already. But anyway, thanks, guys. Thanks for joining me. Have a great rest of your week. Take care of yourselves. I think that's what I've discovered over the last few days. Just, yeah, if you're not feeling well, you're no good to anyone. So that's my takeaway for the week. But anyway, yeah, have a great week, and I will see you again next time.